How's it going, peeps? Welcome back to Viva La Coin. I am Joe. I will be your host today, and thanks for joining us to talk about this exciting news that just came across everyone's desk about Cardano joining Coinbase. It has been a long time coming. It's been speculated since 2017. Some said it was never going to happen at all, and yet here we are. The third largest cryptocurrency on the planet will now be listed on one of the largest exchanges and the main US exchange in the world. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means for the Cardano ecosystem, what that means for some of those projects moving forward, and then just one or two pieces of general news that I still believe is important to bring to you. And if you could, any comments that you have, any questions, leave them down below, like this video, and please share to anyone that may need to know this information. I'm trying to push the channel to 100 subscribers before I repeat a single Hawaiian shirt. Aside from the Binance one, which was a two-parter that I filmed in one sitting, we have not repeated yet, and we have 35 subscribers to go. So I would appreciate your help in that aspect. But let's just jump into it, and let's take a brief look real quick at where we're sitting with Bitcoin first and foremost. Always want to start off with that. And look at that. Bitcoin just refuses to quit. 57.7, almost 57.8. And just earlier in the day, it was all the way down to low 54. The price just continues to be beat down by large institutions that want to buy it while shaking you out. And they still have yet to crash it down further because it is them versus the fucking world. And when it comes down to it, you may be able to manipulate your employees if you own a company. You may be able to control your population in your singular country, but you cannot defeat the world. And we're still pushing this up, and I'm excited to see where the rest of this week takes us, especially in regards to the rest of the altcoins that will undoubtedly be following Bitcoin on this next leg up. So looking at Cardano here, so I pulled it into a 7-day view of the price, but just to show where we're currently at. So we're at $1.25 right now at the moment. With a $40 billion market cap, almost on the nose, makes it the third largest cryptocurrency right now in the world. And you can see just the news yesterday that they were going to be listed on Coinbase. Pumped them up from where they were a little bit lower and stagnant over the course of the past couple weeks, around $1, all the way up to close to $1.30. And there's a big resistance line right around $1.30 to $1.32 that most likely when it's listed tomorrow, we're going to punch through, but I'll talk about that very shortly. But to anyone that watched the previous videos, that bought Cardano, some of the long-term holders over the years, congratulations, because you just made a shit ton of money, and there's going to be more where that came from. So that's exciting. But to talk about Coinbase and their listing, so it has been widely speculated that they were going to be added onto Coinbase. And I said, in my own opinion, right, my non-financial advisor opinion, I think I'm going to get a decal put on whatever car I buy that says I am not a financial advisor, just to ring that home. But I thought that they were going to be listed within the next 90 days was my call. And it was even faster than that. I was saying by the end of Q2, and here we are not even at the end of Q1, and we are listed on Coinbase starting tomorrow. Now, Coinbase we covered in one of our previous videos. It is the most, in my opinion, easily accessible and easy to navigate exchange if you are a newcomer to crypto in the United States. And a lot of these coins you may not see, like VeChain or Binance Coin. I just have those favorited, so they show just because I have specific holdings in them, and I just want to keep an eye on all the different projects that I have. But tomorrow, if you go to the prices for all tradable assets on Coinbase, we should see Cardano listed. The only reason why they wouldn't be listed is right now, trading is open to deposit Cardano on Coinbase Pro. So they're trying to get a bunch of people to deposit a couple $1 billion worth of Cardano, get some liquidity in there for trading for all the people coming in on Coinbase that do not have any yet. So as long as they meet that liquidity or have enough Cardano in the system, to be able to trade it. Then trading goes up tomorrow morning if you're in the US. And I know, I would say I would buy more, but I already have so fucking much of it. I am more excited for it to pump. I may even sell just a little bit of it off to get into some other projects that I'm excited about, like VeChain that we covered yesterday, buy a little more of that. But for most people, this is going to be your first shot to enter Cardano. So keep an eye out for that. And I do expect the price to pump up pretty significantly. I'm not going to give any hardcore, here's what I think it's going to do 500x bullshit prediction. But I do believe that we should see hopefully another 25% move up to around $1.50, maybe at least break through some of those resistances and set a nice floor for the exciting news that is going to be coming out that I'm going to cover here in a second. And then for Coinbase, this is equally good for them as well. So right before this announcement came out, Coinbase was already getting ready to be listed publicly. So that means they're IPOing, or initial public offering, and you'll be able to buy shares or in the stock market of Coinbase. And this is massive news, not only for them, but all the other exchanges are watching very, very closely, because how this goes for them is going to set the bar for how, like Binance or Kraken or some of these other larger exchanges, what they're going to be able to expect if they were to IPO. Now, their current projected valuation keeps soaring. It's up to $68 billion. To give you context of how large that is for a cryptocurrency exchange in a space that most people wrote off as just fake or bullshit just years ago, that's just about 10 billion shy of like Starbucks, which to me blows my mind, because we're still just getting started. We are still so early to this, but they're the first domino to fall when it comes to large IPOs for exchanges. And undoubtedly, the strategic listing of Cardano, before that one of the largest cryptocurrencies in the world, was probably a coordinated effort on both their end and the IOHK team behind Cardano to really give themselves as much hype going into this as possible. And a lot of the mastermind behind Cardano is Charles Hoskinson. I talked about him a lot in our Cardano video, but there's another big piece of news that will be occurring tomorrow as well as they go live. And that is, he will be one of the keynote speakers of Blockchain Africa Conference 2021, from hype to mainstream. And that begins in 11 hours. So it'll be incredibly early if we're US time, but I'll be up probably watching it at 3 a.m. or whenever it is, just tracking everything to see what all is announced. But ultimately, this has been in the works for some time. On their roadmap, they had some exciting upcoming current events. And Cardano doesn't like to bullshit people. And oftentimes they say, here's what we're planning to do. And as we do it, we'll just check it off the list. But some of these things, they didn't have specific dates planned, like their other mainnet roadmap that I showed you in our previous video. One of these, just to show that this isn't all hype garbage, exchange listings, Coinbase, you can go ahead and just check that shit off the list. Already going to be done tomorrow. But here's what he's going to be speaking about. There are entire countries onboarding the Cardano blockchain. If you remember when I said approximately 1.4 billion people around the world are unbanked, meaning they don't have access to financial services, they cannot save money or invest it or do different things because those networks that they need to participate in that aren't accessible. Well, now Cardano, being cheap, affordable, accessible, having a $31 billion coin circulating at this moment, they are looking to put in place entire financial decentralized infrastructures for the countries of Ethiopia, Kenya, South Africa. So I'm not sure if that just refers to the country at the base of Africa or just that whole region. Georgia, Mongolia, Uzbekistan, Tanzania, Nigeria, which Nigeria, it's especially impactful because their government is trying to ban cryptocurrency because they bastardized their own currency so bad that people literally have to use crypto in order to pay for shit. So if they announce this, or even one of the countries in partnerships, not only would this be the biggest use case application of crypto being rolled out in a single effort, because Visa really hasn't started doing their stuff in the US yet. And China has a bunch of stuff, but it's not all live. This would be massive for Cardano. It would be massive for cryptocurrency in general. So I'm excited to see what becomes of that. But you can see they just have so much exciting stuff coming up. And I'm not going to go into the rest of it, but I'm sure over time we'll cover a lot of it. Now, a couple other pieces of news I just wanted to touch on real quick. Simultaneously with everything else going on, Morgan Stanley becomes the first big US bank to offer its wealthy clients access to Bitcoin funds. Just to read a couple key points, the investment bank told its financial advisors Wednesday in an internal memo that it is launching access to 3 funds that enable ownership of Bitcoin, according to people with direct knowledge of that matter. 2 of the funds on offer are from Digital or Galaxy Digital. Now, Galaxy Digital is Mike Novogratz's company, and he's very big on Bitcoin and big on Ethereum, and he's helping to ring this in for Morgan Stanley and a lot of their more wealthy clients over the course of the past couple months started to really say, hey, we want exposure to this. We want to be able to invest in this, and anyone that's tried to clear any type of ETFs or direct investment over the past couple of years has been wildly unsuccessful in the US because we might as well blindfold ourselves and try running an obstacle course. That's how difficult we make it for ourselves, because I'm convinced that we are trying to knock ourselves down at least a dozen pegs on the world ranking charts in just about every category over the next decade. But this is big news, and they will not be the last, I promise you. And then finally, Visa, their CEO, Al Kelly, had an interview in a lot of different places. We're covering it, but it was about their plan to roll out Bitcoin on their Visa services. Now, MasterCard is laying out similar plans. They're a little bit less public about it, but I believe that we can make the assumption that Visa will probably mirror something closer to what MasterCard will be doing. Now, Kelly's comments in what he said, I'm just going to read a few couple key points. So, we are trying to do 2 things, Kelly said. One is enable the purchase of Bitcoin on Visa credentials, and secondly, working with Bitcoin wallets to allow Bitcoin to be translated into fiat currency and therefore immediately be able to be used at any of the 70 million places around the world where Visa is accepted. That is, if you want to talk about bullish news or a reason to be excited about Bitcoin, or if one more person comes up and says, well, it's not used anywhere and it's going to take 15 years, you're full of shit. It's not. People need to pay attention as to what's happening, because these banks and these payment services and these massive hedge funds and where the real big smart money is, they're flowing into it. And there's only so much fake news and bullshit articles and fear mongering that we can put out saying, oh, it could go to zero and it's all a fugazi, it's garbage, until people are going to be left holding all the fucking debt that exists in our current debt-based system with our fiat currency that's being printed into the fucking ground. And at that point, it's going to be too late. So when we bring up these stories and we talk about this stuff, again, it isn't in order to FOMO into anything. It isn't saying take a lien on your fucking house and go and buy 10 Bitcoin. This is simply saying, hey, this is important. This matters to everyone, whether you are currently invested in cryptocurrency or not. And hopefully this type of educational material and keeping you updated with everything not only helps you to do your own additional research, because I'm not a financial advisor, but also to bring a little peace of mind to you in such a seemingly volatile and new and unfamiliar space. We're all working through this together. I see every single day very tenured, experienced people in the crypto space that have been doing this since 2012 still get shook and still get, a little bit nervous when you see just a chart react really crazy and it doesn't make sense because someone crushed it down and they liquidated a bunch of trades or something like that. And even for me, When I see that, I start to get worried. But as soon as I get worried, if I do not figure out what's going on and translate it to people that are new to this space, you will sell and then they will buy it. And that would be the end of the narrative for anyone else trying to get in. So if we're doing a good job of that, please share this video. Let me know. Even leave a comment and say, yeah, you know what? I'm taking something away from this. This is helping me. That would still mean a lot. And as always, I can't thank you enough for joining me on this episode of Viva La Coin. And I will catch you guys next time.